Welcome to Nevertheless Weekly Podcast by Bidemi Mark-Mordi, a podcast dedicated to organic leaders and leaderpreneurs. Today, you will discover how to discern your purpose and live powerful.
Hey guys, how you doing? This is Bidemi Mark-Mordi. Did you miss me last week? Remember I said that I was going to just try and take some much needed rest. Be amazed, I was amazed how tired I was. By the time we finally took that step back and got to our destination, I practically crashed. I started to sneeze, my head started to pound. It meant that my body had been really tired and I just wasn't listening. I do hope you would listen to your own body. This is Nevertheless, a podcast dedicated to organic leaders and leaderpreneurs. Last week I didn't podcast. Yes, I hope you didn't miss me too much. I missed you. I actually tried to podcast. I just was not, my body would not obey my yearning to try and do that. That was why we didn't do that. And remember that I wasn't supposed to podcast this week, but to tell you how much I missed you, I'm here trying to do one. This is going to be kind of light. It's not going to be anything as heavy as we usually would do, but I'm sure that you'll find it useful. How did you find the post on authenticating your purpose? I've had a lot of feedback on that post. Thank you to everyone who retweeted, who liked on Facebook, who left us a comment. It's because of things like that we do what we do. The validation is tremendous and I want to say thank you. So what will we be talking about this week? I'll be right back.
In a world filled with many fears and discouragements, life often becomes a burden. For those who know the way, life's just simple. Don't worry, you're not alone on this life's journey, as Bidemi shares powerful insights and principles from her everyday work and life experiences in her book, Nevertheless. Nevertheless is a book designed to encourage and equip you to face life with courage, hope, and determination. Get a copy of Nevertheless from a bookstore near you or call 234-813-360-2883 or send an email to bidemi@bidemimarkmordi.com to place your order now. I guarantee you will make it nevertheless.
Welcome back. It's still Nevertheless, a podcast dedicated to organic leaders and leaderpreneurs. Did I tell you that I took this holiday with my husband, Mark? Finally, this was like, it was never going to happen. We finally just took, not a long time, but it's been very useful for our relationship. So couples out there, you want to step back a bit and just take a look at what you're doing and find the time to spend time together. It can really revive and revitalize your relationship. Honestly, I believe that strongly because that's what has happened with my own relationship with my husband. Anyway, we are far away in Geneva and we're having fun. Not having fun being on the streets because we promised that we would rest, and I tell you, our hosts have made it impossible for us to go gallivanting anywhere. They've just practically grounded us, which is a good thing. Thank you, Irene. Thank you, Dr. Peter. It's great to have somewhere to come and hide our heads. Just pull back so that we can recalibrate and come right out back to you or back at you with our throttles fully engaged. We are here now, and even though the trip is beginning to wind down, it's been a great holiday. I thank the Olumesi for giving us this opportunity. So again, what are we talking about? Like I said, it's going to be really light, so I'll be right back.
The Armor Bearers Fellowship presents October 2015 Kingdom Man Conference. Theme: Love, Money, and Kingdom. Join Pastor Mark-Mordi and other ministers as they discuss real men issues on relationship, finance, and the Kingdom of God. Date is Saturday, October 24th, 2015. Time is 9 a.m. Venue is the Testimony Place, 5 Akyongun Road, Bar Oniru, New Market, Lekki Phase 1, Lagos. Call 0806-248-5096 0916 for inquiries, or visit www.kingdommanng.org. Admission is free. Kingdom Man Conference, restoring men to the kingdom of God.
I'm back. Have you heard about the Kingdom Man Conference coming up on the 24th of October in Lagos, Nigeria? You don't want to miss it. Men, married, unmarried, intending to marry, you want to be in that room where men from all walks of life will come to you and share technologies and templates on how you can become a kingdom man. My favorite part of the Kingdom Man gathering is when they take the Kingdom Man pledge. I love that pledge. It makes me feel safe when I hear my husband saying the words of that pledge. You want to find out what is the Kingdom Man pledge. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to register. You don't need to pay any money. It's a free event. It's holding in Lagos. Please be there. Invite your friends. Check the Kingdom Man page on Facebook and just be part of this event. Men, you don't want to miss it. Women, you want your men in that room, because you will thank me later for it. So what are we going to be talking about this week? I'll be right back.
Are you a kingdom man? Every man wants to have a successful relationship and live a happy life. A life filled with joy, peace, abundance, and impact. If you are a kingdom man, join other like minds at the October 2015 Kingdom Man Conference, where men get to talk about real issues and love, money, and kingdom. Come find out how to build a successful relationship with your spouse, grow your finance, and make impact in God's kingdom. Date is Saturday, October 24th, 2015. Venue is the Testimony Place, 5 Akyongun Road by Oniru New Market, Lekki Phase 1, Lagos. Time is 9 a.m. Ministering are your host, Pastor Mark-Mordi, Pastor Norrison Quakers, Pastor Richard Ikebe, Pastor Andre Bird, Dr. Peter Olumese, Professor Joe Ezigbo, and Pastor Tunde Ojomo. Date is Saturday, October 24th, 2015. Time is 9 a.m. Admission is free. Call 0806 248 5096 for inquiries. Powered by the Armor Bearers Fellowship. The Armor Bearers Fellowship, restoring men to the kingdom of God.
This week, I decided for us to look at something that I had done a long time ago, or something I learned years ago. About 4 years ago, I read the book Today We Are Rich by a man called Tim Sanders. At the point when I was reading that book, I was going through a very a rough patch health-wise, and I was told that I required to have surgery, and that threw me in a tailspin. I started to wonder, why of all people on earth am I the one who needs to have surgery? I went to God. I was thinking, Lord, I work for you. I do everything you ask me to do. You know how we become really self-righteous. I'm not sure that I did everything God asked me to do, but that day I remember that I said to him, everything you've asked me to do for you, I do. How can I now need to have surgery? And I just went into that pity party, and I went on and on and on. Thank God for husbands who can identify that you are going down the wrong path. So my husband said to me, okay, you know what will happen? I'll give you a gift. Let's buy you a ticket. Let's go to South Africa so that you can just pull back. Because what he didn't say to me, but I found out eventually, was that I required more than the surgery. I required an attitude adjustment. And so he thought that if he took me away from the hustle and bustle of my regular life in Lagos and took me down to Johannesburg, and he helped me to focus, I'll probably be able to identify that I needed an attitude adjustment so that I can make that adjustment. As I packed to go on that trip, I packed the book by Tim Sanders, Today We Are Rich, and with me, and from the plane I started to read that book, and that was when it dawned on me that yes, I might have had a health issue that probably maybe is life-threatening for some, but wasn't exactly life-threatening for me, but it was major, and I might require to have to go through surgery. But that all was not lost. that book opened my eyes to see how much, if we have the right attitude to life and the things that happen to us, we get to move forward. So today, my podcast is on the fact that you are rich. The title is Today We Are Rich. I know you're sitting there, especially social media makes life so difficult for people. You go through social media, you see people, regardless of what they're going through in their homes, they come on social media, they put their best face out, they put their best foot forward, they dress in their Sunday best. And one thing I see that social media does, at least it does it to me periodically until I pull myself in and check myself, is that it can make you become a bag of envy. Everywhere you go, every click, every post, you are envious. You're looking at the person's life and you're saying to yourself, oh, they have a better life than I have. What's with, woe is me, as the Bible would say it. Who am I? Look at my life. Oh, look at this person. Yeah, his marriage, her marriage is working better than my own. Oh, look at their children. They are growing faster than my children. Oh, their children are making better grades. Because nobody comes on social media to advertise their struggles and their problems. Somehow is one of the fakest land, if there's a word like that I have seen. Social media. So I want you to understand that today you are rich. Stop taking the template for your life of social media. Stop. Because if you continue, it will kill you. You need to take 2 steps back and go back and do what I call the attitude adjustment. Today's post is filled with stories. Years ago, I woke up on Sunday morning to go to church, and as I entered my car to start, I started the car. It started all right, but I realized that every light on the dashboard was on. It was, in fact, it was lit like a Christmas tree. Immediately I whipped out my manual. The car came with a manual. Thank God for cars that come with manuals. And I went to the troubleshooting page, and I started to look, why are all the lights on my dashboard lit? And while the manual told me the implication, that is the disadvantage of having all the lights on my dashboard lit, the manual did not include what could have made the lights on the dashboard all lit at the same time. So, I managed to drive the car to church, but, I don't think that throughout that service I heard anything. I kept thinking about my car. Oh, the lights on the dashboard are lit. Oh, maybe my car is going down the drain. Until we came out and my husband popped the bonnet open and we started to check, and we realized that somehow some rats had entered the bonnet of the car and they had chewed out every single piece of wiring in the car. It was a miracle that the car started, and about $400 later, we were able to fix the car and life continued. But in those 2 days before the car was fixed, it felt like I was going to die. I remember that I started to think, how can my car go through this? Look at my car. The lights are on the dashboard. Until I got home one evening, and someone who followed my blog then I was blogging on Blogspot, had sent a message and about how we should please pray for some people in a country I don't remember now who went to church, and some madman came and opened fire on them and killed about 70 people in that church service that day. And immediately something said to me, and you were complaining about your car. And I started to repent. I started to adjust my attitude, and that helped me to get through. And I actually did a blog post on that. If you go to my Bidemi 70.blogspot.com, you will find it there. It's a very old post, but that gave me some major attitude adjustment that day. And with Today We Are Rich today, I'm saying that you need to take 2 steps back. You want to look at the man who has a speaking business, or whose dream is to be a speaker, or who is living his dream as a public speaker, and you see that the last time he spoke, the room was packed full with about 10,000 people, and you sit down and look at yourself and say, oh, I spoke to just 10 people yesterday, and you begin to compare and you begin to lose your attitude. In the book Today We Are Rich, Tim Sanders pointed out 7 things he learned from his grandmother, Billy, and those are the things that I'm going to focus on today. How do you understand how rich you are as a person? Because the thing is, you are saying, oh, I want to live a life on purpose, but when can I get to where everyone is getting to? The thing I need us to understand today is that your race is different. Your path, or your path has been charted out for you, and it doesn't matter whether it involves 1 million people or involves 10 people. You are just as powerful if you align with God and live your dream as the man who has 10 million people following him. So it's not a competition, because some people have refused to live the purpose. They've refused to push what God is giving to them because in their mind it is too small. They think it is infinitesimal. It can't make a difference. It's just a dot. Can I please announce to you that someone is waiting on that dot? Because if they don't have it, they can't move forward. 7 things Tim Sanders says we can do from his book, Today We Are Rich, so that we can process the fact that what God is putting us is great. Those 7 things I'll share when I come back.
Are you frustrated and tired of life? Do you feel trapped in life's maze and don't seem to find your way? Or are you passionate about your purpose and destiny and want to find out more? Then get a copy of DNA. DNA, Destiny Navigational Application, is a book written by Bidemi Mark-Mordi, where she coaches you to distill the answer to the cry of purpose, mandate, and significance. She teaches you how to discern your essence, discover your God-given mandate, deploy power, and demonstrate dominion. Get a copy of Destiny Navigational Application from any bookstore near you, or call 234-813-360-2883, or send an email to bidemi@bidemimarkmordi.com to place your order now.
Thanks for hanging around. We're back, and we're looking at Today We Are Rich. Not tomorrow, not the day past. Today. Yes, you, where you are seated. Yes, doing that thing you're doing. Yes, you're riding a bicycle. Oh no, you are even trekking. You don't own a car. Even in that state, I announce to you that today you are extremely, extremely, extremely rich. The only thing you need to do is take a look inward and see how rich you are. Today I was browsing through Facebook. Remember, those of us that social media is a workplace for, and I saw a story. Please, I cannot vouch for the authenticity of the post, but it's something that just goes to portray what it is that I'm talking about today. There was a picture of a group of children, very young children, malnourished looking children in a photograph, and one was circled out with a pen. And the post says, the circle you see in the picture is the current president of Gabon, Ali Bongo Ondimba, at the orphanage before he was adopted by the late Omar Bongo. Nobody can change your destiny. If it was meant to be, it will be. By this post, what it was saying was that current Gabonese president Ali Bongo was once an orphan who lived in an orphanage before the past president, the one he took, his father, the one he took over from, went into that orphanage and adopted him. And maybe 50 years later, maybe more than that, I am not very familiar with the facts. Today, if that story is anything to go by, he's the president of a country. But in that photograph, as I look at it, he was naked. He had no piece of clothing on. Malnourished with very big tummy, like someone who was suffering from kwashiorkor. Do you recognize that if that story is true, that child, as malnourished as he looked that day, already carried within him the capacity to be the president of a nation? Today you are rich. I'm done with trying to compare what I do with any other man's own. I just want to focus on the things that God has called me to do and give them my best shot. It really doesn't matter if I'm not the best speaker in town. It doesn't matter if I'm not the best teacher. A number of things I will do. And once I've done them, I will be fine. The first thing Tim Sanders says we should do is you must feed your mind with good stuff. Stop taking the template for your life from Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Now, these platforms are not bad in themselves, but if they become the yardstick with which you run your life, hey, you are heading towards bankruptcy. Not because you don't have money, but because you have chosen to use the template for another man's life, or the seeming template of another man's life for your own life. So Tim Sanders says, feed your mind with the good stuff. You need to wake up and say, I am blessed. I am created in the image and likeness of God. I am highly favored. The lines are falling onto me in pleasant places. I am the head, I'm not the tail. And this has nothing to do, or this have nothing to do with how much money you have in the bank, how many followers you have on Twitter, how many people knock on your door, how many people like your Facebook post. This has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that you are rich. The second thing you want to do, according to Tim Sanders in his book, Today We Are Rich, is move the conversation forward. Move it away from limiting beliefs. Move it away from complaints. Stop dwelling at the place where you fell. Oh, I fell here. Oh, that was how 5 years ago I fell here. And 16 years ago I fell here. Move away from there. What has happened after that? Move the conversation forward. When people come to you and say, oh, we're so sorry, say thanks, but can we move forward? I like what my friend and sister Chigozie Udemezwe says. She says when she lost her husband and people came and started to scream and say, why you? She said she took one look at them and said, why not me? Because who deserves the bad news? And that's what I'm trying to say. Can you move away from the things that have limited you, those mindsets, those beliefs? Can you move away from all the things you complain about and move your conversation forward? The third thing that Tim says we should do, in his book, Today We Are Rich, is exercise your gratitude muscle. When we got to South Africa on that trip in 2011, just before I had that surgery, by time those 6 or 7 hours on the plane, I read that book. When I got off the plane, I realized that more than anything, I was the one who needed to adjust my attitude. More than surgery, I needed for my attitude to be right. So one of the things what I did was I sent an email to everyone in my life, or at least most people in my life who have been a blessing to me in that season of my life. I had to exercise my gratitude muscle. I had to send an email to my husband to say thank you. I had to send an email to my children's school proprietor to say thank you. I sent an email to my girlfriends. I just wanted to my siblings to say I am so grateful you people are in my life. I thank you for everything you bring to my life. I had to call up my parents to say thank you for the person you've raised me to be. And the more I said thank you, which meant that I was exercising my gratitude muscle, the more I found things to be thankful for. Because let me tell you something, the things that trip us don't necessarily have to be huge. Something as simple as a mosquito bite can alter the coloration of a person's life, at least for a day. The fourth thing that Tim Sanders says we should do in his book Today We Are Rich is give to be rich. A lot of us complain about all the things we don't have, and we forget that everyone, according to my sister Enife Atobiloye, has something to give. He said, if you want to be rich, if you're feeling like, well, I actually want to modify that to say give to be richer, because you are already rich. In your DNA, God has already put things in you that can make you the wealthiest person that God has ordained for you to become. And Tim says, give to be rich. I say give to be richer. You already have the raw material of a wealthy man. So if you really want to process that wealth to something visible that other people can see, you need to give. So give to be rich. These are attitude adjustments that we need to make. The fifth thing is you must prepare yourself. You must prepare yourself. Some of us want to be the greatest public speakers on earth, but we've never done anything to train. Join Toastmasters. Begin to exercise that muscle. Because muscles are only built when they are exercised. Are you exercising your ability to speak? Or when you have the opportunity, you begin to count the number of people in the room? You also need to prepare yourself. The sixth thing you want to do is balance your confidence. Balance your confidence. Some of us think the world about ourselves. Can I bust your bubble and say you are not all that? The world doesn't revolve around you. Neither does it revolve around me. There is a need to balance our confidence. I like to always say to people, I'm nothing. God is all that you see in me. It checks me. It helps me keep my feet on the ground. And you need to balance your confidence. The confidence that every one of us should carry is in the God that we carry and the things that He's put inside of us. Not in the things that people think make them different. Not in the number of cars you have. Not in the houses you've built. Not in the number of people that showed up when you announced an event. They help, I know. But that should never be the yardstick for what your confidence is about. And then the last thing that Tim Sanders says we should do, according to his book, Today We Are Rich, is keep your promises. When you make promises, keep them. When you make promises, keep them. I can understand unbelievers in my mind who make promises and don't keep them. But when I chance across Christians who just talk and never follow up, it breaks my heart. They used to say that our word is our bond, that a man of integrity would swear to his own hurt and fulfill it. Make promises and keep them. What that means is not you go around just making promises. It means that you think before you make the promises that you make, and be sure that when you make those promises, no matter what shifts, you will fulfill them. And so I give my word 1 year ago to go somewhere to speak. And then I realize eventually that it's clashing with what another event I'm organizing. I would have to stretch myself to keep my word, because that's the way it works. So what that means is my own event will come second place for this event. Why? Because I had given my word. How much of the word you give do you keep? Remember again that our post today is that today we are rich. If I want to take it from the angle of my book, Destiny Navigational Application, what I'm trying to say to you is that everything, and this is the way the Bible says it, that pertains to life and godliness, you've already been given. You are a wealthy man. You are a wealthy woman. You have everything that it takes to live your dream. Get out there. Stop looking at every other person. Do the 7 things. Feed your mind with the right stuff. Move the conversation forward away from limiting beliefs and complaints. Exercise your gratitude muscle. Say thank you for the simplest and the smallest things around you. Give to be richer. Prepare yourself every day. Prepare yourself. Balance your confidence. Let your confidence be in He who has called you and not in what you are able to do. And finally, keep your promises.
Are you a kingdom man? Every man wants to have a successful relationship and live a happy life. A life filled with joy, peace, abundance, and impact. If you are a kingdom man, join other like minds at the October 2015 Kingdom Man Conference, where men get to talk about real issues and love, money, and kingdom. Come find out how to build a successful relationship with your spouse, grow your finance, and make impact in God's kingdom. Date is Saturday, October 24th, 2015. Venue is the Testimony Place, 5 Akyongun Road by Oniru New Market, Lekki Phase 1, Lagos. Time is 9 a.m. Ministering are your host, Pastor Mark-Mordi, Pastor Norrison Quakers, Pastor Richard Ikebe, Pastor Andre Bird, Dr. Peter Olumese, Professor Joe Ezigbo, and Pastor Tunde Ochomo. Date is Saturday, October 24th, 2015. Time is 9 a.m. Admission is free. Call 0806 248 5096 for inquiries. Powered by the Armor Bearers Fellowship. The Armor Bearers Fellowship, restoring men to the kingdom of God.
be a short podcast, but it's turned out it's not one of those short ones. Well, I speak from my soul, and I do hope that this has blessed you. Remember to attend the Kingdom Man Conference. Ladies, drive your husbands there and hover around and make sure that they don't leave before the conference is over. Anyway, I trust that if they even make it into that room, they will not be tempted to leave on the conference is over. It's a whole day's conference. There will be food, there will be music, great music, there will be great company, and the word is going to be powerful. There will be a medical talk, and then there will be a free medical checkup for each and every one of us. You want to be there, because remember, today you are rich. Till next week when I come your way, I always tell you, and I want to say it to you one more time: discover purpose so you can live a powerful life. God bless you. Peace.
Thank you for listening to today's podcast by Bidemi Mark-Mordi. We would love to hear from you. For more information and resources, visit www.bidemimarkmordi.com. Don't forget, when you discover your purpose, you will live a powerful life.